They didn't tacitly agree to do nothing. They tacitly agreed to keep that motherfucker. That's what they tacitly agreed to do. They ain't giving it back to you. I just read what you ain't getting that back. Register the asset to the postal union, not the DMV or post office. Postal union is the jurisdiction we are. Okay, let's read this thing about the postal union. Everybody likes to talk about that. Let's read. Let's see where they got that from. Let's see where they got that from. Let's see where they got that from. Well, actually, I could go to where I gotta go. You go right to SBC University and go to my PDF downloads. What's happening, man? Let me change the window real quick. All right, see my PDF downloads, and we're gonna do this dealing with presentments. And section 7. Let's read this real quick because I hear so many people talk about the UPU. And this is where they got it from. I ain't never really, you tell me what y'all think. All right. It's part 7. It's called the, I know part 6. It's part 6. Yeah, part 6. All right, let me read this to you because this is actually pretty good. Damn, where is it at? Oh, here it is right here. Postal power. The UP Universal Postal Union in Bern, Switzerland is an extremely significant organization in today's world. It is formulated by treaty. No nation can be recognized as a nation without being an international admiralty in order to have a forum common to all nations for engaging in commerce and resolving disputes. That is why the USA, under the Articles of Confederation, could not be recognized as a country. Every state colony was sovereign with its own common law, which foreclosed other countries from interacting with the USA as a nation. Remember, all our states were separate countries themselves. And then that's why they united together and formed a central government. Okay. Today, international admiralty is the private jurisdiction of the International Monetary Fund, among others, the creditor in the bankruptcy of essentially every government on earth. The entire world has been bankrupt. The Universal Postal Union operates under the authority of treaties with every country in the world. It is, as it were, the overlord or overseer over the common interaction of all countries in international commerce. Every nation has a postal system and also has reciprocal banking and commercial relationships, whereby all within and under the UPU. The UPU is the number one military. International Admiralty is also military contract mover on the planet. It is through the mail. That's why I was telling you to do a administrative process. For this reason, one should send all important legal commercial documents through the post office rather than the private carriers, which are firewalls. We want direct access to the authority and corresponding availability of remedy and recourse of the UPU. For instance, if you post through the U.S. Post Office and the U.S. Postmaster does not provide you with the remedy you request within 21 days, you can take the matter to the UPU. Involving the authority of the UPU is then automatically invoked by the use of postage stamps. Utilization of stamps, including putting stamps on any document for account purposes, not mailing. We wish to introduce into the system. And that's why you see people, there's a document on here, the significance of using, this is it right here, the significance of using stamps on banknotes. And this right here goes into the history of putting stamps, what they call them revenue stamps, on banknotes. And they're used in times when there isn't any money, when there isn't any monies. But this is the history of it, really interesting history. So I'm showing you this so you won't think that people just putting stamps on documents is some sort of patriot type mythology. No, it does have a basis in history, in custom, in banking. It has a basis in that. All right. So involving the authority of the UPU is automatically invoked by the use of postage stamps. Utilization of stamps include putting stamps on any document for clout purposes, not mailing. we wish to introduce into the system. As long as you use a stamp of any kind, you're in the game. If you have time, resources, and the luxury of dealing with something well before expiration of a given time frame, you can use stamps that you consider ideal. The most preferable stamps are ones that are both large and contain the most colors. In an emergency situation, or simply if economy is a consideration, any stamp will do. Using a postage stamp and autograph on it makes you the postmaster for that contract. Whenever you put a stamp on a document, inscribe your full name over the stamp at an angle. The color ink you use for this is a function of what color will show up best against the colors in the stamp. Ideal colors for doing this are purple, royalty, blue, origin of the bond, and gold, King's Edict. Avoid red at all costs. Obviously, if you have a dark, and they say red is operating in the red, but then I've heard red say that's the color your blood turns when it hits the oxygen. You hear all these different things, but I like you're in the red, it's a deader type thing. So I kind of like that. We're not using red. What else does it say? Ideally, one could decide on the best color for his autograph and then obtain stamps that best suit one's criteria and taste. Although a dollar stamp is best, it is a luxury unless one is well off financially. Otherwise, reserve the use of dollar stamps for crucial instruments such as travel documents. And that's when you go get your birth certificate authenticated, things like that, with an affidavit attached to it, an affidavit of identity. All right? That's the first thing that comes to my mind. All right? The rationale for using 2-cent stamps is that in the 19th century, the official postal rate for the de jure post office of the United States of America was fixed at 2 cents. And you know, we have the postal service now. We don't have the post office anymore. For stamps to carry on one's person for any kind of unexpected encounter or emergency use, this denomination might be ideal. Use stamps on important documents such as a check, travel documents, paperwork you put into court, etc. Where to put the stamp and how many stamps to use depend on the document. One foundational document in checks, for instance, put a stamp on the right-hand corner of the instrument, both on the front and on the back. The bottom right-hand corner of the face of the check, note, or bill of exchange signifies the liability. That's right, because, you know, they negotiate them. And the reason you put a stamp on the back of a check at the bottom right-hand corner, because every time they negotiate it, they sign it. Well, your signature is the last signature on the document. That is evidence that you're the holder in due course. It's giving notice that you intend for it to return back to you. I'm not going to read all of this, but this is where it came from. I read this many, many, many times. It's postal power. If you've ever seen it floating around on the internet, that's where it came from. It's dealing with presentments. It's the 7th chapter of that. And I've never had to use the UPU, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why to go back to that. I thought I'd changed it. This is crazy. I thought I had. All right. Let me see if any questions. I gotta go make bread. I'll catch you later, bro. Much love. Okay, appreciate you. If we ask for tacit contract, they have to disclose it by law. What law? You can be a postmaster and make your own stamps too. 2 stamps all you need. Well, the red fox stamps are the most ideal stamps. You can't buy them anymore. You had to get them off eBay.